guys, welcome back to PommyInOz. I hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please like, please subscribe. It does mean the world to me. And today what we're going to talk about, and it's kind of like a Pommy Ponders I suppose, is this new craze that is sweeping the internet. And it is starting to bugbear me. And that is none other than YouTubers and exhibition boxing bouts. What is going on with it? So we've recently just had, and those who don't know, you might have been living under a rock, is Logan Paul has challenged Floyd Mayweather to an exhibition boxing event. Now this is just after we had Mike Tyson come out of retirement to fight Roy Jones in that very dubious draw decision. And when they announced there was no winner, I always just find that pointless anyway, because I think the wonderful art of boxing is that you have a winner. It's, you know, sportsman versus sportsman, best person wins. And I thought it was daft anyway, and now we're hearing that Tyson's going to fight Lewis again. But this one, I can kind of see the appeal of the old guys coming back. You know, for some people, they weren't luxurious enough to see Tyson in his prime. They weren't lucky enough to see Lennox Lewis in his prime. Like the great days of heavyweight boxing. But Logan Paul versus Mayweather, this is one that I don't understand. I don't understand why Floyd Mayweather would entertain it. I understand he's a businessman. He's a very clever man. But for me, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest boxers I've ever seen. Like, he's just a defense masterclass. You can't hit what you can't see, is the old adage. And I don't see why he would feel the need to even accept this challenge. I did see an Instagram post where he said he was called out and he felt he had a duty to do it and entertain. But he's beat the best there is. Like, he's 50-0. He's probably the best boxer. He is the best one historically by record ever graced the ring. But Logan Paul, I mean, this should be a nothing fight. I mean, I would say that it's not something that I'm going to pay-per-view to buy. I mean, but then again, you know, the moroseness of it, we probably will. And that's the problem with it. And then today we've had his brother, who I would say, Jake Paul, right, with all due respect, I respect his endeavour, his craft, his YouTube. I mean, what he's done is amazing. What both the Pauls have done is amazing YouTube-wise. I mean, even though they seem to be complete and utter fucking melts, don't they? But he's challenged Conor McGregor, and he's taken a pop shot. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but here's the clip I'm on about.
Because you're sick of fucking your wife. I mean, she's a four-counter. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday!
I think the best thing about boxing, and I come from, like, you know, the glory days of WWF, now WWE, you know, where there was the smack talk, and I kind of like smack talk. I've got to say, it does build the fight. I am one of them morons that buy into the hype. I love it. I'm super stoked about AJ, and hopefully that will be announced with Tyson Fury. And I'm hoping that we see a bit of a different side to AJ. I like it when you get that Miller AJ, you get that Dylan White AJ, the one who's aggravated and looks like he's going to spark someone out. And I like the build-up, but I think when you bring people's families into it like that, like, I think he's pressing the wrong buttons, because to me, Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul is going to be as close as we can get to GBH on TV. It's a moronic thing, and I don't get it, because Conor McGregor might not be a boxer, but he is a pretty talented MMA guy, let's be honest. He's had a foray into boxing. Whether you call that successful or not, I thought it was a little bit, it was kind of like an exhibition with professionals, to be fair. Him and Mayweather, it wasn't the most pure sport, but I would bet my ass to a barn dance that McGregor knocks Jake Paul out in 5 rounds. And now he said that about his wife, I would say 2. I mean, this is Mickey Mouse. One thing you don't do with an Irish person is you dish their heritage. They are very loyal, fiercely loyal, and it's a credit to the Irish people. And you can't not but love Conor McGregor. But Jake Paul is everything that's wrong with this craze for me. He's a little prissy little prep boy that has had it way too easy, has got a bit too much money for doing next to nothing really. YouTube videos aren't that hard to do, especially the content he does of just pissing about by a pool. And now he's challenging Conor McGregor, and then you've got Logan Paul fighting the greatest boxer of all time. When will it stop? When will it stop? I don't mind the YouTube boxers boxing each other. I think that's pretty good. I mean, I'd love to get involved. I think it would be a good excuse, you know, to hit the gym a bit harder and get into shape. So if any YouTubers do want to call me out, let's do it. But, like, honestly, fighting pros when, like, he goes on about, Jake Paul's video, he goes on about being 2-0. He's beaten a basketballer who wasn't very good at basketball. I mean, and then he's beaten a YouTuber that couldn't really stand up. And let's be honest, I'm a fan, but like that stance, what the fuck was that about? It's madness. And now you've got Logan Paul, who lost to KSI. Let's not forget, he's lost to KSI, and then he's had a draw. You could argue maybe the point wasn't deducted, he won it, but like, you're telling me that you lose twice to an amateur who's a pro via his YouTube celebrity, you get then to face the greatest boxer of all time. We wonder why boxing's a dying art. We do. I mean, the pros struggle to make a fight. I mean, evidently they just need to make a soppy YouTube video and they'll get a big deal. But to me, that's something that just needs to be stopped. I think it's a wonderful craft, boxing, and to me, it's a little bit like, you know, if my YouTube channel took off, Richmond giving me a game in a grand final for banter. Like, is that where it stops? Because to me, it takes away the discipline, it takes away the hard work. A lot of these boxers, like Mayweather, like AJ, these guys have spent their entire lives building to this moment. It's been a sacrifice of labour, a sacrifice of their childhood, extra hours in the gym, sacrifice of the social life. For me to then jump in on the bandwagon and start saying you're a pro, to me just kind of lightens what it's about. Especially boxing. I think it's a pure art. I know it's not for everyone, but there's no getting away from it. It's one of the oldest sports going around. And there is something, I think, very romantic when you look at these good boxers. Tyson Fury, you know, the craft. Floyd Mayweather, the craft. Ray Jones back in his day. Just the craft and the art. It is an art form. And to me, I just think it downplays it. And I don't mind the exhibitions of the old guys. To me, I can see that taking off. It is kind of romantic. You want to see the old footballers play. I love seeing the Masters soccer, the old guys. I love watching the seniors tour at golf. Just seeing the old guys that I remember when I was a kid and my father watched before him. The exciting times. But it's grouse to watch, and it feels like you've got a bit of connection to the history. And I think that's what a lot of young sports fans, and I'm not so much younger anymore, but I remember being 18, 19 and having an opinion on sport. And people going, oh, you weren't there when this happened. And I kind of live that now through AFL. And it's kind of nice to be connected to your history of where you're coming from. And I just think this kind of downplays it when we're just having any old Tom, Dick and Harry having a pop at legends of the sport. It's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Is exhibitions between amateurs and pros something you want to see? Do you want to see Billy No Mates fight a Lennox Lewis? Fight an AJ? I mean, I just don't know where it stops to me. And there's got to be some health and safety where it's not pure boxing. Drop a comment. Let us know what you guys think. You guys and girls think. I'd love to have a discussion about it. Till next time. Pom out.